Feels right.
Scott, what was Sam Stewart doing in that final event, plus 81? He never left the first round. Did you see that? Or were you too busy winning?
No, I honestly I wasn't paying much attention to any of that.
Are
I was
are
just focused on getting through that event.
Thanks for coming on, by the way.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
You have your family in town?
I do. We are at an Airbnb right here on the lake, so we're enjoying our time here as well.
Okay, and when you say your family, who's staying there with you?
So my wife and our little girl Kinsley, who is 2 months old, and then Ralph and Beth Ann Lazaro, and then my buddy Chad, who's a chiropractor, is coming into town tomorrow night.
Okay, not your mom and dad, not your brother.
No, no,
Are,
they.
are,
So my brother Saxon just had twins, so my parents are, you know, very busy helping him with 2-on-2 over there.
Saxon just had twins?
Saxon just had twins. Yeah, twin girls.
So identical.
Yep.
Oh my God, your parents are in heaven, huh?
Oh, they are loving it. They're
They got,
loving it.
and those are the first 3 grandchildren?
No, I actually have an older brother that not a lot of people know about that has 3 girls and 1 boy, and then we have 1 girl, and then Saxon has twin girls now. So
Oh,
a lot of girls in the family. I mean, we went from a family of 5 boys and 1 girl, so I have a huge family, and now all the girls are coming.
wait, so there's 5 boys and you have 5 siblings?
Yep,
4 brothers and 1 sister?
4 brothers and 1 sister. Yep,
And more than half the siblings have been to the CrossFit Games, or at least tried to go to the CrossFit Games.
yep, you got it. Big crew.
Are you rolling tight with Saxon this week, or do you guys just do your own thing?
We're rolling tight and enjoying every minute. Hey,
Yeah.
question. I have
Yes.
somebody here kind of documenting my weekend.
I recognize that handsome man. I know who he is. All fair game. Hey, before we're even done, that boy will text me and be like, "I want a clean copy of this interview," and I will sell it to him for $1. I will sell it to him for $1.
For $1. There you go. I like it.
Scott, how do you make the decision to retire? And then the follow-up question is, how do you make the decision to announce it before instead of after?
Yeah, great question.
Thank you.
Something that we had a nice long ride here, kind of just discussing everything, and for me, it was all year long. It was kind of like, this might be my last year. This could be my last year, and I never really like officially said it. And my buddy Ralph was just like, "Hey, what's the deal? Is it your last year or not? Like, you need to at least say it if it is." And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that no matter no matter what happened this weekend, it wasn't going to be enough. And I was going to want to come back. And by saying this is my last year, it's given me a lot of joy. It's taken a lot of weight off my shoulders, and it's allowing me to enjoy every moment of this experience, because in years past, I was just so focused on winning and what was going to happen, what was the next event. And it was like me. And now by me announcing that this is my final ride, I get to really soak in each moment. Even going to the dinner with Dave, and just saying like, this is my first dinner here at the CrossFit Games, and taking the floor for your last first event. And it was just, soaking that in. And for me, it's given me peace. It's given me the opportunity to like look around and just be more fulfilled than ever. Because in years past, I've looked at my performances and I've always come back and I'm just like 4th place, 5th place, 6th place. And it was never enough. And I was always uh, felt like I needed more. I wanted more, and I wasn't getting exactly what my heart wanted. And I realized on the ride down here, and even just this past month, I've been struggling with some knee issues. I realized that I was never going to be fulfilled by what I accomplished here at the CrossFit Games. And I realized that what is going to fulfill this weekend and let me walk away with my head held high and looking back on my career, being proud of it, is enjoying every moment with my family, with my friends, and with the other athletes on the floor. And I'm seeing things like I've never seen them before. It's a good feeling.
I thought you were going to have some bullshit, shitty answer. Brian, I
I had an
muted.
8.5 hour drive here, so I had a lot of time to work some shit out.
Dude, that's an incredible thing. Before I ask you who Ralph is and how dare he ask you a question like that, Brian, I muted your ass because you got your AC on to keep your iPhone cold. So if you want to talk, you got to unmute yourself. But man, the audio is better when I put a zipper on you. Scott, who is Ralph? And that's a tough question for a friend to ask another friend.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how you know it's a good friend, because, you know, fans and people that really don't care about you aren't going to dig in those moments. And it's the tough questions that really tell you that those people care about you. And I think that Ralph is someone that has been in my corner for a long time. He's one of my best friends, manages a lot of partnerships, and just has gone above and beyond in our friendship. And on the way down, he asked me a ton of questions, and that was only one of them. And, honestly, this past month when I hurt my knee, I hurt it early in July. I've had 3 knee reconstructive surgeries from playing college football. And at the beginning of the month, I just started dealing with some severe meniscus pain, and it's prevented me from doing a lot of things, but I've also been able to train extremely hard through it as well. So there's some things that I feel, really great doing, and then there's some things that are really challenging for me. But through this last month, I've really learned a lot about myself. I've learned, you know, I've almost feel like I've unlocked something, and it's allowed me to be more joyful in the moments here at the games, but even in training. And whenever I made this announcement and I talked to family, friends, and fans, I want them to know that this is my last ride too, because I want them all to be part of that. One of the questions I've been asking athletes and friends and family, I'm like, what's your favorite, or what are you most excited about for the CrossFit Games? And when I hear it, now I know I can enjoy that and be more in that moment with them. So it's pretty special.
It's crazy. Hey, dude, it's oozing off of you. It's oozing off of you. It's not just words. Like I feel it. Who is Ralph though? Is he your manager?
Yeah, manager, one of my best friends, and just Scott Panchik fan, man. He's my boy. I like to think he's one of my number one fans.
and has he been around with you forever since the beginning?
He has not. It was a friendship that kind of started about halfway through my CrossFit career, and just has gotten stronger every year.
I was going to make the bold prediction that I thought you were going to win the games this year, and then I saw you run. And
never say never, buddy.
Right,
We're
right.
one event at a time.
But that was that wasn't. And correct me if I'm wrong. That finish of 1 minute and 33 seconds isn't you running. That's you finishing the event. Is that correct?
Yeah, giving it hell.
But I guess what I'm saying by that is you look like you pulled back. You look like something happened and then you pulled back.
Yeah, I mean, my knee is not good.
Is it pain, or does it feel like it's going to snap off when you were sprinting?
There's just certain movements that are just not stable, and I just don't feel I can move at 100% efficiency, really. And then there's things that I feel great doing. So it's going to be a little bit of a wild ride, and I think a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, it is. I mean, imagine how bizarre that looks to the viewers to see you take a 36th and then take a first with a workout that I think most of the fans cannot accomplish in a day, right? I mean, everyone can sprint 550 meters and be like, I did what Scott Panchik is. Not most of the people cannot put 185 pounds, squat below parallel, and then push the weight over their head. What did you, how many times you guys end up doing it? 50, that's 55 times you do that.
55, yeah.
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 So it is a bizarre juxtaposition, right?
Yeah, it's bizarre. I feel like I have everything that it takes to stand on that podium, but my knee's giving me some issues, and that's just where I am.
How old are you?
33. I'll be
And
34
how
in November.
in November? And how tall are you?
5'8.5", maybe.
Don't lie. Don't
I creep
lie.
on
Come on,
5'9".
man. And how much do you weigh?
About 190 pounds.
And how much did you weigh your first year of CrossFit?
Pretty similar weight actually.
And has there been a
Do I
body
look different?
composition?
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
you
do I
do
look
look different.
Do I look
Yeah,
different?
you do look different.
That's cool.
But you know what?
Do I look thinner?
You're one of those guys. You're one of those guys where you look different in the beginning of a workout than at the end of a workout. Some guys you don't really see that, but like Pat Barber was notorious for that, right? He'd go out there and look all skinny and scrawny, and then by the end of a workout, he was all swollen buff. It was just, and you kind of have that. Although you don't look, I wouldn't say you look skinny in the
I was gonna
beginning of a
say, I
workout.
really hope I don't look yeah, so I'm gonna keep my shirt on until the end.
No, don't do that. You'll ruin the ratings. Don't do that. So are there any other events that you're just that have been announced that you're just dreading, that you're like, oh man, that one's going to push the knee, or do you just have to take it one event at a time?
Yeah, we don't know a lot of details for a lot of the events, to be honest. The longer run, I think, is something that could give me some issues. I think a steady run is obviously better than a sprint. I just could not get that turnover, and that's what I was really struggling with on that sprint.
Okay, so as long as it's not a run, you should be pretty good.
Run and then like jumping, any
Oh,
type of jumping. And I haven't squatted anything above 275 in quite some time in like a full ass to grass squat. So we'll see.
yeah. Do you have you look like you're doing great in terms of the cuts go, and there is going to be that snatch event, and it is going to be in front of the entire stadium, right? I mean, I would guess.
Yeah.
So that could be really weird for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen there. I didn't know. It's funny because I didn't know what was going to happen on the sprint either. I lined up, and it's funny if you watch it. I lined up. I got down in a sprinting stance like I was running a 40-yard dash, and I came off that line as fast as I could. And I realized after about 15 yards, it wasn't going to happen. It was like someone blew out a tire, and I was running on 3.
Yeah, interesting. You can't fall behind in that event, right? If you fall to the very, very back, you're toast.
No,
you can't get past the other guys, right?
Nope.
It's like a wall of meat.
Wall of meat
that's running away from.
But that's why I came out. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to find out. And it was the same thing with the thruster. I knew that was a really good workout for me. And with the squats, I wasn't sure what it was going to feel like. I warmed up. I was able to do a few reps at 185. And then the adrenaline took over. Like it felt stable enough to move. And, obviously a wall walk is good. And the thruster, if you watch me do my thrusters, I pause a lot at the top. I come down a little more controlled. And that I think paid off because it kept my breathing under control, but it also kept my squat under control as I dropped down. So,
it's interesting. The commentator said that as you were lowering the bar to your, your shoulders and your collarbone, and you were squatting down, that your body was shaking. And I wouldn't have noticed that, but I think I tried to look closely, and it did look like you had like a little vibration there, like a little shake. And I don't know if everyone does that, or if I just never seen that before, or if that's something that was because of your knee.
No, I could feel that. I just felt like I was shaking. Even when I was running, I can feel this, like it just feels unstable.
Like one of the legs on your coffee table. It's like something's wrong with one of the legs on the coffee table.
Yeah. It's not a new coffee table.
In the opening ceremonies, you were carrying the flag. How did you pull that off?
That was a great. They were like, Scott, you're gonna carry the flag. I was like, are you kidding me? That's amazing. And I just soaked it in, man. They gave me that flag. I was like, I'm gonna hold this thing up as high as I can. I'm gonna wave it around. I'm gonna pump up the crowd and just get them fired up.
Well, it was pretty awesome seeing you carrying it. I have zero interest in the opening ceremonies, but when I saw you carrying the flag, I was like, okay, that's cool. At least I saw that. At least I got to see Scott carrying the flag.
I wanted to run down the sidelines and just like take a few laps up and down the sidelines, but I was like,
you should have.
Fast.
Well, yeah, your knee can't handle it. Tell me about the kayak. Brian was mentioned this. We're not letting Brian talk in this interview, apparently. Brian said, "I wonder what Scott was thinking about while he sat in that kayak for an hour." Do you recall any of your thoughts in the kayak?
Yeah. So, well, first I'm gonna go back to the swim for a second because
please.
I was very, very proud of where I came out of the water on my swim this year. This was like my best finish on a swim. I think I got out of the water in like 7th, and I looked around and I was like, "Oh, these are the good swimmers. I did really well." So that was like a really cool moment. And then I got in the kayak and did not do as well. Everybody just started like blowing by me, but it was like a slow go where they were like, "Hey, Scott. Bye, Scott. A little ahead of you, Scott." Okay, I'm getting further, Scott.
How do they pass you? Is their stroke better than yours, or
different strokes, man? Different strokes.
Were they stroking faster than you?
They were just stroking more efficiently.
Wow.
What are you gonna do?
Have you ever been in a kayak before?
I took my wife on a date once and we were in a kayak, but she was scooting around faster than me, so that wasn't
So you knew when this shit was announced you were screwed.
I was like, what in the world? A kayak, huh? But I got out of the water. That was the one thing. I swam a ton the last 2 years. So I was like, this is really cool to see progress in this area. And that's what this weekend's about. Is I haven't won an event since 2012. I won an event this year. I got, something that I had not done in the last 8-9 years, or whatever it is, I was able to accomplish this year. So that's how I know that I am fitter than I've ever been. And that's a great feeling. And I think in years past, I would not be able to sit here and have this conversation. I would not have taken this interview. I would have been sitting there probably looking at the leaderboard, swiping up and down, refresh, looking, okay, what do I need to do? Where am I at? And it's just that doesn't seem important anymore. And I know that no matter what, my family, friends are going to love me after this weekend. And I'm going to look back at this career and I'm going to be really proud of it. And that's all anyone can ask for.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm actually surprised that you took the interview, but I'm like, shit, gotta ask. So
yeah, absolutely.
When you heard the weight, did you know right away you were going to go unbroken?
I knew I was going to try because I didn't want to squat clean more than 10 times because that was the hardest rep, was catching it in the hole.
Yep.
Once I got the bar up overhead, if you watch, I can kind of control my tempo coming down and I don't get buried in the squat. I was able to kind of control my depth a little more. And I felt like that was really helpful for me.
So was that the primary part of your decision? Not whether you could do all the reps unbroken, but that like you had to risk it because the squat clean just wasn't worth it.
I wanted to win the event.
Oh, no, and you wanted to win the.
I was just like, every event I'm trying to win. I don't care what happens, and it's like it's a great feeling to not have any I don't have any expectations. I don't know what's going to happen. I know that my fitness is impressive in a lot of areas, and I know my knee hurts in a few areas. So I'm gonna burn it down.
And there's a lot of cameras watching, so you can. Yeah, there's a lot of cameras watching, so if something falls off, you can go back and find it later.
Yeah, absolutely. No big deal.
So you kill your heat. Do you know? Do you suspect that it's good enough, or are you like, oh man, this next heat's gonna have a bunch of monsters in it, and they all
When I
get to
got
see my score?
Yeah, that's tough. When you're in that first heat, I got to the set of 5, and I was like, okay, you got to start going. I knew no one else was around me. I was like, but you got to start going because the next heat's going to have some heavy hitters in it, and they're going to have people pushing through these last few rounds, and your transitions need to be fast. You need to pretend like someone's there. So I knew I needed to move quickly through those. And then when I finished, Dave gave me like a little peace of mind because he was like, man, that was really fast. He's like, I didn't think anybody would, get that under 15. So I was like, okay, that's a good sign. And then obviously, those are a lot of really fit guys in that heat, regardless of what happened. So I did have some confidence walking off the floor that was a really, really solid performance. And then it was just a waiting game.
Which round did you were there any rounds where you thought you were going to put the bar down? I'm assuming the first set of 10 you're like, I got this, but then when you did the 7, 8, 9, no, none.
No, I was gonna fail a rep before I put it down.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I wouldn't have done that. And that's like, again, that's something that like I would have been a little more calculated and maybe overthought some things, but this was one of those moments where I was just like, you got nothing to lose, man. Have you ever seen The Replacements?
Is that with Stallone, all those old guys?
With Keanu Reeves, and I bring in the football team that like.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
Okay, that's okay.
Have you seen every football movie?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. I'll give you a quick overview.
Please.
In the movie, they have all these like replacements on the field, and they're in their last game, and then like the strike's gonna be over, and Keanu Reeves is in the huddle, and he's like pumping them up, and he's like, guys, he's like, he brings everybody in, he's like, there is no tomorrow for us, and that makes us very dangerous people. And they like get all hyped up, and it's like one last hurrah. So
that's awesome. That's how I feel about getting fired from CrossFit. I am now very, very dangerous, and it's just
dangerous person.
Yeah, I'm a very on accident. I'm a very dangerous person. What is your? Did you tell your wife? Was your wife in the car when you were speaking to Ralph about your retirement?
Yeah.
Does she stay pretty quiet? Does she chime in? Is she?
She would support me regardless of what I choose to do, whether it's go for another year or this is it. It's amazing to have a woman like that. She's also done so much for me this year. The Buttery Bros were out there laughing because she's the one that's been cutting the grass.
Oh, that's awesome.
We have a riding mower, but she's been cutting the grass, and she's been crushing it at home. And I wouldn't have been able to train and do the things that I did. Even like, our little girl's 10 months old. These last 10 months, she has just crushed it. And I feel like I won the lotto there because she's not only beautiful, she takes really good care of me and our
She's
daughter.
not only beautiful, but she can mow a mean lawn.
She can.
So
good.
I don't know if you saw, I saw on Matt's Instagram today, he shows that he's coming to the CrossFit Games and he's leaving his front door, and Sammy's carrying all the luggage, and he's got his sunglasses on, just like talking to the camera. And then he's like, oh shit, or no, he doesn't have his sunglasses. He goes, oh shit, I forgot my sunglasses. And he runs in the house, and she's like carrying his luggage. Funny. And what I think of you, it would be a great video. You should have McCoy make it for you when after this, you're basically sitting on the porch with your legs up, sipping a lemonade, like trimming your nails or filing down, and your wife's just going back and forth with the mower. CrossFit training is hard. A lot of sacrifice.
That's right.
After you decide this in the car, who's the first person you call to tell? Do you call your mom and dad? Do you call Saxon?
No, I wanted to kind of announce it to everyone. I didn't want it, like, it's really challenging whenever there are so many people in my family and so many people from our community, and it would be really hard to just like go down that line and like, where
Right.
do you stop? So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna make this announcement. I don't think anyone in my family is gonna be upset if they don't hear it straight from me.
Right.
uh and I was like, okay, let's piece together the words. And we're sitting here and we're like trying to figure it out. And they're like, well, what do you want to write? What do you want to write? And I'm like, one last ride, let's go. And we just put it out on Instagram, and
it caught fire, and everyone knows.
fire. Now everybody knows.
It's hard for people. I'll use this example. Just like you could have a friend who weighs 200 pounds overweight, and they lose 100 pounds, right? Or they lose 200 pounds, and you would think everyone around them would be happy, but yet it's hard for people when the people around them change. For some reason, it's just hard. Like as human beings, we just don't let people change.
Change is hard. Change is hard for anyone in any circumstance. And I feel like as years have gone on, we struggle more and more with change.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, because change can be really good too.
Yes, of course. I can't think of any bad change that happened in my life. All the change has been good. Maybe not in the moment, it's hard, but I never look back and be like, oh shit, I want to go back to the old way.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes the worst place to be is standing still. You know, a lot of people are like that in their lives. It could be in any aspect of your life, and it's just like, it's a very scary place, is that lukewarm kind of space. And there was a point in my career where I felt like I was kind of sitting there. I'd come back from the games, I'm just like, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. And after a lot of years, I'm just like, I was not proud of what I did. And it really took, this final year for me to look back and be like, man, I'm really proud. And I've changed as a person. And I feel like this changes that happen, even just like with my knee, I could be having the worst day ever in my gym at home, and my knee's giving me hell. And I walk in, and my little girl's just smiling and giggling and just joyful, playing and, with their toys. And it's just like all that goes away. And that's like a huge life change. And I think just like that joy that I see in her, I want to display that this weekend in these moments with everyone. And that was a big reason. Like, I wanted everyone to know that this is my last year. So when they see me going wild with that American flag and pumping them up, we're gonna enjoy it together. And I'm gonna give them a lot of these and a lot of these.
That's awesome. When you were interviewed after that heat, you were holding your daughter, and you said something basically like, it doesn't get better than this, or I feel like a winner already.
I do. I feel like I've already won.
And as a fan, I got a little nervous. I was like, oh shit, is he going to let his foot off the gas? Like that,
No.
that doesn't sound like a guy who's fighting a dragon. But then to hear you describe event number 4, that you were like, hey, there was no calculation. It was just go. And if the weight didn't go up, that would be we would all find out together, basically. Yeah. It's kind of like that.
Hey, if you think about it, it's a little dangerous.
A little dangerous.
It is. Take the little out. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. I mean, this was the first day of the CrossFit games. We had 4 events. I took in 2 out of 4 of them, I took a first and a third. Those are like 2 of my best placings on a day 1. And I could argue, yeah, my knee's a little banged up, but I could also say like half those events went damn good, and I'm ready to put on more of those. And it's all going to come out. What does Dave want us to display? And I can't wait to see what it is.
The commentators were talking about how I'm assuming it was Shane or they were referencing, but they said Brooke Wells was talking to her coach, and they were trying to come up with a plan, whether to do it broken or unbroken. And everyone was talking about that. That was like the big talking point for the commentators. And basically they were saying that as Brooke Wells went out there, they still didn't have a plan together. I don't know if this is true. This is just how I heard the commentator say it. And that She didn't have a plan and that she was just going to wing it. Well, and when the athletes have a plan, they know they're going to put the bar down before we do as the viewer, right? But it's kind of interesting. You have a plan, and your plan is that you don't know what your plan is. that you're gonna throw a brick on the gas pedal, and if the car doesn't explode before it goes over the finish line, you're a winner.
My buddy Chad, he keeps telling me that this year. Have you ever seen the Little Rascals?
Oh yes, I don't know if I've seen any of the new ones, but I used to watch it as a kid, the black and white ones.
The Blur 2. That's like the washer or dryer that they like make out of their go-kart at the end, and it explodes to the finish line. Yeah, he keeps calling me the Blur 2.
Oh, that's awesome. Is your mom worried about your knee? Like, and your dad, like, are they like, oh, you're our greatest creation? Like it would be really, really hard for me to watch my kid participate in it. I mean, my kid's only 6, but it would be really hard if he's injured to see him out there.
Yeah. So I think my parents have been through the ringer with 6 kids. There's always a fire. And I think it really comes down to how am I responding from it? They would be hurting if I was out on I'm out on the floor displaying pain and sadness and hurting. But when they see me out on the floor, joyful and excited and soaking in the atmosphere, that's what they want. And that's what my family and friends want too. They want to just see me happy. Like my little girl, like at the end of the day, I want to be able to tell her that I didn't quit and that I gave it everything that I had in every event. And she's not going to care whether I win the CrossFit Games or not.
Right.
That's really been for me. And the pressure that we put on ourselves as athletes is for us, because the loved ones around us, they're going to love us no matter what. They're going to support us no matter what. And if we want to do it again, they're with us. Right. And I think, honestly, the family and friends of the athletes competing may have a more stressful weekend than us. Because like you said, they don't know what's going to happen. Right. They have no idea what is going to happen. And we at least have a little control on the floor. Like, okay, I'm going to break it up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. They have no idea. They don't know if you got more in you or if you're tapped out, but they're going to love you hard, that's all we can ask for.
Yeah. You said two interesting things there that you're right. If you're doing your job right as a parent, all you want to do is see your kid happy. That being said, we are desensitized to the fact, because we're in the CrossFit community, that no sane person thinks it's safe to hold 185 pounds over your head 55 times. One slip, I mean, it doesn't happen, thank God, knock on wood, but one slip and horrible shit can happen. I mean, you've been an athlete your whole life, but when I first started doing CrossFit and I would, do thrusters with 95 or 135, I would scare the shit out of my dad.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's that, but you're in control of the weight, so it's not scary to you.
And I think after, being in the sport for this long, there's a little bit of trust there as well.
And it's safer than football.
Year 1's a little different than, year 10.
Right. And there's no one trying to spear their helmet into your head.
I think it's probably a lot less stressful than that.
What's going on with Saxon? Is he still getting better every year?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you proud of your brothers?
Him and his brother are both getting better every year, and I'm really proud of them. My sister actually made semifinals this year too, which was really cool.
Wow. And what's her name?
Shayna.
I wonder if I knew that. If Brian was here, Brian would tell you everything that there's to know about her. Stuff you didn't even know.
Probably. She played basketball. She played college basketball, and she's been she's a coach, and she's been in our gym for the last 2 to 3 years. My brother has opened their own affiliate, so they left. So I had like a season with them, and now I have this season with my sister, and we have a teenager that qualified this year as well. That was really cool. So I've had some like opportunities to work with some like really, really, not just family, but really great people and athletes.
Are you enjoying that?
I think that's what has allowed me to do this long. I really do. I think that training with them, I couldn't complain. I came in and at the time they were 19, 20, 21 years old. I come in, I'm like, how you guys feeling? Oh, we feel good, ready to rock and roll. I'm like, oh, okay, me too. And then I moved on and started training with B Sagafi, and she, qualified for the games a couple years ago, and she had an invite taken back last year, unfortunately, with all the circumstances that were going on in the world. And now we have a team competing this year as well. So having those athletes around me has allowed me to pour a lot of what I love about the sport into them, and seeing them progress in the sport is just as rewarding to me as hitting a new PR. Like, new PRs don't come very often anymore. Honestly, I've been trying to just maintain the strength that I have and get better at, things that are weaknesses or challenges for me. So when I see athletes that are, getting ring muscle ups for the first time in our gym, or, qualifying for the CrossFit games, I, it just gives you a good feeling inside.
Yeah. Daniel, Brian was here. It's too bad he's not here now. And he told a story about how they were going to have Danielle Brandon run the sprint by herself, the 550-meter sprint. And the reason why is because she had been with Carrie Pierce and Bethany Shadburn, who had tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
And they were going to have her run the sprint by herself. And that Sam Briggs spoke up and said, no, I'll run with her. And then Laura Horvath and someone else, I forget who, said, I'll run with her. What do you think about that?
I think that's awesome.
I think that's awesome too.
It's just awesome. It's something that she's going to remember that for the rest of her life. And that's like things that you can't teach people that. You can demonstrate it and you can lead. Like, that's a leader. Those are leaders.
Like Sam Briggs.
Yeah, that's a leader. Yeah. That's like going against the grain. That's like, doing the right thing when the easy thing is what most people would do.
All right. Well, thanks, Scott. I wish I could tell you this would be the last time I bug you. I will bug you again. I know you're crazy busy, super low pressure. If you're not on the show, if you can't do the next interview I bug you about, the amount of shit I talk will be very little because you did so good on this interview.
I appreciate that. So, shirt on till the finish, shirt on to the finish and then off, or am I okay to take it off at the beginning?
Oh, take it off right in the beginning. This is the last hurrah. You're gonna put on 20 pounds and your body's never gonna look so good. Take that shit off and let the world see it. Plus, hey,
you gotta put a little message out, tell the media, like, lots of pictures, lots of things, send them all to me, because I'm gonna be like, that was me some time ago.
I think you're screwed with the media since you came on this podcast. So. Congratulations on the baby. God, after the games, maybe we can do just a whole podcast and talk about raising kids and what it's like and what you've learned.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more. I'd love to hear more about your family as well.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's kind of funny. I think it's your mom. It's some Panchik that I've talked with in the Instagram and the DMs, and I always presume it's your mom. And I always feel foolish because I get on my high horse about everything I know about kids, and then she'll pop in. I'll be like, "Well, shit, I'm not going to make 3 amazing kids like you did. Like, go away. Don't watch what I'm doing. You already did it." So your parents have done an amazing.
I see what you're doing. You're doing a great job, man.
All right, cool.
Keep it up.
I'm trying. All right, dude.
Buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, slap McCoy on the ass for me.
You got it.
All right, cool.
Done.
All right, bye. Guys, Scott Panchik. Wow, what a gentleman. That actually got me a little bit emotional. He kind of blew me away. I wasn't expecting him to have such a honest and real answer about what he's doing and why he announced his retirement. It appears that it would be something someone would do that's almost like a selfish thing, but the way he presented it, it's like, he's letting us all in. We're all in the know now, and we can all see, enjoy his freedom. So I am putting feelers out to everyone. Looks like Colton Mertens. Looks like we might have him on the hook too. Let's see what we can do to get Brian back on, and maybe we'll get to interview Colton later this evening. Anyway, thanks for checking in live. We will keep you posted, and we're out. Thank you.